Good afternoon. This is Bill with Gig Life Gaming. So today we're going to talk about how to boot the Linux operating system from my dual boot refurbished PCs. So right now I have one that's got Windows 11 on it, and I will explain to you why I set these up as dual boot systems. So I'm going to show you the operating system. Bear with me. You can see here that this is full Windows 11. Right down at the bottom, it says no audio device installed. That's because this Dell 3189, though it's only about 3 years old, Microsoft says, and I quote, "It is not authorized to run Windows 11 because it has the wrong type of processor." Even though it will fully run Windows 11, as you can see, we'll put up Microsoft Edge and it'll go to the website. It'll do anything that Microsoft normally does. I personally don't like Edge because I think it's too slow, but you can see, it pulled it up just fine. So it does run. It runs just fine. However, Microsoft tells you that your computer you just spent a bunch of money on 3 years ago is no longer eligible to get any more updates. So what do? Well, you can update it like this one. The problem with that is that since they consider it dead devices, they didn't create drivers for certain things. Like this 3189 also comes in a 2-in-1 configuration. So it's a tablet and a laptop, depending on how you want to use it. But they didn't design drivers for the screen rotation, and they didn't design drivers for audio. The drivers that are on here are standard Windows 11 drivers that come with everything. But those two things need specific drivers in order to work. And Microsoft said, we're not going to bother messing with it because we don't want you putting our operating system on that 3-year-old piece of crap anyways. So if you don't need sound and you just use it for office work or whatever, editing Word documents, doing Photoshop or whatever, there's absolutely nothing wrong with it. But if you have one of the 2-in-1s, or you're one of those people that use your laptop to stream movies or whatever else, you're not going to have any sound if you're using the Windows 11 operating system. So how do you fix that? Well, you can connect Bluetooth earbuds for sure. That will work. You can connect that way. You can put an adapter in the USB-C port and use headphones if you want to, but that kind of ties you to the computer. So if you're in tablet mode, and you have wired headphones plugged in, it's not ideal, but it works. So how do you get around all that? You use an operating system that has all the drivers readily available. That's how you do it. That's where Linux comes in. A lot of people are scared of Linux. Linux got a pretty bad rap in the late 80s, early 90s. No one wants to mess with it. But it's so much better than Windows is. And the only way to get that through to people is to actually let them use it. So what we're going to do is we're going to boot this PC from Windows 11. We're going to boot it into the Linux operating system. So we're going to go down here to shut down. We're going to shut it all the way down. We're going to wait until this light goes off. Once this light is off, it's completely shut down. And sometimes you got to hold the power button in order to get that to do that. So we'll hold the power button until it goes completely off. Okay, so now we're going to press the power button, let it boot up, and then we're going to press this escape button right when it tells you to. What that does, it lets you boot into the BIOS. So it's at default boot right now. That means that if you just press enter, it'll boot back into Windows, just like you just saw. But what we want to do is we want to boot it into the Linux operating system. So we're going to use the bottom arrow, the down arrow right here. I'm going to press that to where it says boot menu, and then we're going to press enter. And then right there it says Q4OS Andromeda. That is your Linux operating system. So all we're going to do is we're going to press enter. And watch what happens. So now it's going to boot into your Linux operating system. And it's so much faster. It looks a little weirder, a little hokier than Windows booting up, but it's actually showing you what it's doing to start the system. That's what all that actually is. And it's showing you that all these checks are okay, so you know that everything is working right. And I'm pretty sure there's a password on this one too. No, I guess there's not. No password on this one. That's even better. But look at it. It doesn't look any different than Windows other than the background, and you can replace, if I wanted to, I could put that Windows 11 flower on here because it's just wallpaper. But you have, you know, your battery, you have Wi-Fi, you have brightness, you have Bluetooth, you have volume. Everything is the same on the taskbar as it is on Windows, with one exception. You don't have that little search bar here. And your start menu is right here on the left, kind of like with Windows 10 used to be. But if you click on that, pretty much everything is the same. So you got all your applications. You got something called Chrome apps, and I'll get into that in a minute. But it's basically the same thing. You can see you've got Google Chrome here, your system settings. Dolphin is what they call their file manager, so you can see that it's a file manager, and it looks the same. I mean, it's the same type of outlook. You got home, you got desktop, you've got documents, you've got downloads, exactly the same as your Windows operating system is. The difference is when I click on these progressive web apps up here, like say, let's do Netflix, just because Netflix is a streaming app. I'm already logged in on my Netflix account, so it should pull me right up. But watch what happens. When I click play, you get full sound. All the sound works just fine. You can use it. Well, this particular one you can't use as a tablet because this is a laptop only. But if it was a tablet, you could flip it around and use it like a tablet. You know, you can adjust it any way you want, adjust the screen any way you want. You can't do that on Windows 11 because they didn't make drivers for it. So, how do I get all these apps, which are Windows native apps, on this Linux operating system? Look, there's Microsoft Office, Microsoft Word right there. How do I get that? How is that working on a Linux operating system? I'm going to tell you exactly how that works. You click down here at the start menu and you go over here to Google Chrome. Google Chrome is your browser. Most of us are pretty familiar with Google Chrome. It looks just like any other Google Chrome. Now, you want to go to Microsoft 365. You go there. You go online to Microsoft 365. This is the online version of it. You would open Word. You'd sign in first, and then you'd open Word or whatever if you wanted to. But you don't have to do it that way. You can come right here and click those three dots and go all the way down to where it says Cast, Save, and Share. Now it's not going to show it on this because I already have this one. Saved as a PWA. So we have to go to a different website. We'll just find something else. Maybe we'll do like Paramount this time. So let's do PARAM. Stuck. MOUNT. Paramount Plus. Okay, there it is right there. And we're going to put it here. Okay, so it tells you to sign in, so you can sign in right there. But if you want this on your Linux operating system as an app, so you can just launch it from your desktop, you go right here to those three little dots again, and you go all the way down to Cast, Save, and Share. And now this time, when it pulls up the second window, you can see where I have it highlighted. It says Install Paramount Plus. So you click on that, and now it's telling you, do you want to install the app? Yes, we'll install it. Okay, so we're going to X out of this, and we're going to X out of this. Now you have Paramount Plus on here as an app already on your Linux operating system, and all you got to do is click on it. On your desktop, it's double click. Down here on the taskbar, it's single click. And there it is. You just simply log in, and if you set it to save your login information, it's going to log you straight in anyways, just like it does with my Netflix. You can see that when it pulls this up, my account comes right up because I'm already logged in. And that's how you get Windows apps on a Linux operating system. And that's how you get these specific Dell 3189s to work with sound and everything. If you guys have any questions, y'all can message me on WhatsApp. Just go to the website, click on the WhatsApp link, and fire away. Thank you for watching.